I just thought I'd talk a little bit about uh, running for president. I had to think long and hard this go round about whether or not I would like to run for president and serve you another 3 years, or whether I would run for regional director in San Francisco. Some of my considerations were really because I was away from home probably 80% of the time, that, maybe I want to rethink that. But as I reflected back on what we'd accomplished over this last 3 years, I thought, well, I think I can do more. Now, I've seen some kind of nasty attacks online, and I really haven't wanted to get into a mudslinging campaign. I'd like you to elect me because you believe in me, you believe in my work, and you feel confident that I wouldn't lie to you, I wouldn't cheat, and I'll do the best job I could possibly do. That's why I'd like you to elect me. I've got 25 years of experience of being a regional director and having all the responsibility of the region, whether it's companies leaving the Bay, coming into the Bay, organizing many companies, severance packages, strikes, all that is what I brought to this position. I think it was helpful, and I'm not sure how anybody does a very good job if they don't have any of those experiences coming into the position. Some of our regional directors have a lot of experience, and some of them don't. And so really the president should be someone that has more experience than them, I feel, and can help when they need the help. The problem is that some officers may not want help. Sometimes as president you have vision that you could see where you could make a difference, and yet the officers don't want your help because they feel they can handle the situation. Sometimes that works out, and then other times, which I definitely have had some other times here, where the decision was they don't want my help, and the outcome hasn't been any better. So I do feel like we've had some great successes, and we've had some struggles, but that's part of any job, and I recognize that. And I would hope you wouldn't judge me too harshly. In some cases, I feel like if I had to do it again, would I do it different? Yes. But I think, that's really true most of the time in life. After you live through an experience and then, rethink it and say, well, where can I have done a better job? So, there are things I could have done a better job. I don't disagree with that. Did I accomplish some pretty amazing things? I think so. The work on the pension, while it wasn't comfortable for a bunch of the officers, at the end of the day saved them years of struggles with some of these employers. So, I think that was a good thing. My regrets, I guess, would be that I didn't have enough support during some crucial times of the officers that I would have liked to have. I thought I deserved, anyway, the benefit of the doubt, but, that's politics, and we deal with it. But in terms of allegations about buying things here and there, the previous president bought office furniture. I came into office with a table instead of a desk, so I got a desk. Could I have got a different desk? Maybe. Was it an exorbitant desk? No. Will it be there forever and good quality, what have you? Of course. The couch, same thing. We still have the furniture that was in that office. I think the couch is up in the lobby now, and it will live there for as long as its life lasts. But beyond that, I think there should be a retraction. because I did not charge a carpet to the union, and I did not charge furniture in San Francisco to the union. Did I buy a carpet? Yes, I bought a carpet. Did I buy a desk in San Francisco? Yes, I did. I bought it. But really what that tells me is there's not a lot of criticism of my work. And just to let you know, on the finance side, I hear certain regional directors stating what they think I did or didn't do or shouldn't have done. And I understand that, but how would you know unless you're in that position, So you've been a regional director 6 years, and somehow your thoughts that I should or shouldn't attend a region to help solve a crisis, that maybe I should wait till you felt it was proper. I think you're asking a lot of a president to serve in that capacity, because, hopefully your president is going to have a pretty good handle on what's going on throughout the region. And that's the other thing to remember. You got 7 regions. It's not just one. And I have, in my opinion, I have been where I needed to be when I needed to be there. If you needed me, whether you called me on the phone or whether I needed to go somewhere, drive to Anacortes or whatever it would be, fly somewhere, you can count on me to do that. And there really wasn't any criticism of office furniture until now, so I don't know what to make of that. It's kind of strange. I don't appreciate misrepresenting the facts like that. And, being criticized for being late and not prepared. Some of the people who have made those comments have learned the hard way that when you're not prepared and you don't do what you're supposed to do as an officer preparing for bargaining, that the members will suffer that consequence. Have I had similar problems? Maybe not exactly like that, but I've had things that I've had to learn the hard way. And, that's part of the process of developing and growing as a leader. Is my attention focused on you pretty much all the time? Yes. If you need something, you can call me. That's what I bring to this table, being available. I don't lie. I do the best I can whenever I'm needed. I try to offer suggestions where I can see some things of benefit. And, just to be candid here, the biggest concern that I have is that, I've gotten a lot of questions and concerns from members in Puget Sound that don't feel their grievances are being handled properly or at all. And so, I've tried in my position to mediate in some cases those issues and disputes for the members. Has it really turned the results for the members that they're looking for? I'm not sure. In some cases, I'm sure it's not. As president, you walk a fine line of whether or not you're going to tell somebody to do something, whether you're going to ask them to do it, and then police them to fruition. It's disappointing to me when somebody comes to me and I raise it and it doesn't get addressed. I think that's wrong. I think we should address all of our members' concerns the best we can. That doesn't mean that once you've addressed it, they're going to be happy. But the point is, you have a duty as a union officer to do the best you can and to answer those questions and give somebody a written response on whether or not their grievance is valid or not valid. And let them come to your executive board and dispute with you whether they believe it or not. That's our process. And now, with the creation of Zoom, people can attend our board meetings effortlessly. And so I see no reason why people should be dissatisfied with our grievance handling if we're doing our job, And I think that's important when you're in leadership during bargaining. If at the end of that bargaining you got a lot of criticism, I think you got to answer it. And, I know my opponent has had similar criticism. And, that's part of doing these jobs. But, again, I guess I would just say, if my opponent is saying things that are not true, I would like that retracted. And I really think if you're going to criticize somebody or you're going to say something, that you should really have the facts. And that is not the facts. Those were not the facts. And the other thing is really, I think everybody wants to know, what are we going to do for you? You know, why do I want this position? Do I want it for my own self-gain? Do I feel I can do anything to help? You know, when I decided to run, I felt like I love my job in San Francisco, but there needed to be some more oversight and assistance on the top for our officers and our members. And, you know, and I had 25 years of experience to bring to the job. So I really feel like, you know, yeah, you can talk about finances. And while we're on that subject of finances, let me just share with you this. That, you know, it was my idea, not that I want to go down in history, but when someone says fiscal responsibility and, you know, I'm this and I'm that, I got to tell you, I take a hard look at these circumstances. And when we've had to make some changes over this last year due to COVID and people, you know, like red and white not operating, blue and gold not operating, center plate not operating, black ball not operating. You know, those aren't situations that I've created, obviously. We all know that. But, you know, we've had to make some tough decisions in the union how we were going to pay our bills. And the reason for that is that we're not a big union. That a lot of, you know, the work that we do is, you know, potentially will be, you know, some travel and that. But the bottom line is, when we don't get a wage increase, or we don't get for our staff, or we don't get dues increases, you know, it makes it hard. And, you know, everybody gets increases in their PG&E bill and their phone bills and things like that are just real parts of life. And, you know, union offices are no different. Now, some people say, well, you should close the, you know, Ketchikan office. Well, you know, that's because you haven't been to Ketchikan, you know. I mean, some people would like that, but then we got a lot of members in Ketchikan, you know, that would not like us to close it. You know, I struggled to see that we could open it because the demand was there. And so, you know, those are tough issues when somebody outside the area says, well, you know, we shouldn't fund that. Well, okay, but when you're up there and you're seeing all the activity, I mean, that's very productive office. So I would say there's other offices we have that maybe aren't quite as productive, you know, and I don't know. I mean, when we start talking about closing offices, that's pretty extreme, and I think the members have to have a say in that. And so I'm not a proponent of closing offices. But, you know, I'd like to have more conversation with you because I feel like sometimes, you know, I don't get enough information out. And just in case you didn't know this, our president has no staff. So it's not like when I was regional director, I had a secretary. I don't have a secretary. There aren't any. They don't, you know, we just don't have that kind of arrangement. So I fall short on that. You know, I work from dawn till way past dusk trying to meet the needs of whatever struggle we're in. Right now it's the Golden Gate, trying to prevent all these layoffs for our members. And but, you know, I am short on communication, and I'd like to do better. And, you know, you need to realize it's just me here in terms of trying to get the word out. And I will do better, you know. But anyway, I'd like to talk more to you, so you may hear from me periodically. And, you know, I appreciate if anyone wants to call and have a conversation, or, you know, I'm always available. But anyway, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.